Welcome back, folks, to another Nasdaq 100 weekly highs, weekly lows technical analysis video. I hope you guys have had an amazing week with your trades, week just gone, because I definitely did, right? And make sure you hit the subscribe button, turn on the notification, and drop us a like, especially if you're new to this channel, or if you haven't already done so but you are benefiting from this channel. Like, it will cost you absolutely nothing. It's just 3 clicks, click, that's it, right? And obviously whenever I release a video, you'll be one of the first to get it, because at some point I'm going to start increasing the tempos as to how often I release videos, right? Just to help people kind of navigate that market a little bit easier if you're getting more updates. So the more you like and subscribe to the channel, the more I am motivated to increase the videos that I'm putting out, especially if you're finding them useful, right? So as you can see already with what we've got laid out here, is what I said in the video actually came true, right? It actually happened, right? And if you were able to watch the previous week's video and follow along, you would be sitting in profit right now. Right now, you would be sitting in profit, okay? So with all of that covered, we're going to get straight into the meat of the business for this week, right? And the idea is this. So first things first, I'm going to bring in a separator just to separate. Well, it's not actually called a separator. I just call it a separator, right? Right. And it's going to separate last week from week just gone, right? So let me just lock that in place. So the video in question is going to be for week commencing the 22nd of July, which is tomorrow, right? And the moves that we're looking at right now is the moves that have taken place week just gone, which is week commencing Monday the 15th. So all of this, right? Okay. And the moves in this area over here, Monday the 15th of July, we kind of worked out how we was going to be doing business for during this week, which would have been for week commencing Monday the 8th of July. So all the work that we did this week, this particular week, helped us navigate this week over here. Okay, so had you watched that, you would have seen, you would have been able to seize upon some opportunities in the market, right? So with all of that covered, said and done, we're going to get straight into the business of the day. So first things first is this level, this weekly low that we was talking about last week, that I said there was a high probability that market was going to close below that level, actually took place, right? So it happened, and it happened on the Wednesday, right? So let's just zoom in close on that, and let's just see what kind of look we got, right? Because there was a little okie doke in that area. There was a little okie doke in that area off that Wednesday that definitely would have played around with us, and that was all the guys that were selling from up here when they all decided to jump out over here. So this is that little doji that we can see right here. This is where all of their stops were, or the TPs were all triggered. So they jumped out at this level right here, and the sellers were still in control. And like I said before, we have a massive parabolic flying through the weekly low. So that move basically was to say, hey, I'm still going to go down. Market was saying it's still going to go down, and if he had locked in on this particular candle, you would be sitting in profit right now, because this is where it is, right? So with this game of weekly lows and weekly highs, yes, you are gonna miss the peaks, right? But in all fairness, trying to catch the peaks is kind of dangerous, and it goes wrong more times than it goes right, right? And in this game, we want to be right more times than we're wrong, because if we're right more times than we're wrong, ultimately we're going to be super profitable, right? So that's the general idea, right? So that's what took place last week, right? I don't really need to spend too much time explaining that to you. So this is why I recommend you definitely hit the subscribe button, turn on the notification, and drop us a like, so you can definitely follow along when I am releasing these videos. These concepts are easy to follow, but there's a lot more in them that you need to be aware of. And with every single video I release more and more gems as to how to spot if the crossing of a weekly low or a weekly high is a valid one, right? So with that covered, we're going to get rid of this now. We're going to get rid of this also. And then we're going to mark out the new levels of interest. So the new levels of interest now, I don't know why this thing keeps coming up. Okay, let's try it again. Okay, there we are. Boom. All right, so the new levels of interest now is what I'm about to mark in. So we've had the first weekly high was set for us on the Monday in regards to the NAS. So let's just lock that in place. The first weekly high, that was it right here on the Monday. And the weekly low was set on the Friday. So let's add that in there. Okay, weekly low. So now we're just going to assign some labels, levels of interest. And another level of interest. And like I always say, especially if you're new to watching this channel for the very first time, the general idea is this, right? If a weekly low or weekly high is taken out, we're looking for position in the corresponding direction. So if a weekly high is taken out, then we're only looking for buys. If a weekly low is taken out, then we're only looking for sales. That's it in its most basic form, okay? But however, there are nuances to this as well, right? So how the weekly low or the weekly high is taken out is also very important, because just because a weekly low or weekly high is taken out, it does not necessarily mean that price is going to continue in that direction. How it is done, it is super important. This is why you got to tap in, so when these videos are coming out and these nuggets are being dropped, you're able to absorb them and use them for yourself. All right, so just to get back to where we was before, so the level for the weekly high that we're thinking about is 20618.8. This level, I mean this number right here, this level is what it's corresponding to. If that's taken out, we're looking for buys, right? Same thing for the weekly lows, 19489.9. If this level is taken out, we're only looking for sales, right? We are only looking for sales. So this is how it's looking right now. So if I was to jump, let me get another chart up, right? And we're going to go into a higher time frame on this one, just to help us out, right? This was another technical that I did, but obviously, yes, that was a long time ago. Okay, so let's get rid of all of this stuff here. So as we can see right now, okay, where price is currently sitting at, you can say this is a support level, right? This is a support level. So what price does at this level right here is super important. So on Monday, if price begins to push up, right, and at the end of the week, it does not close above, or it closes in the region of, let's just mark this area here, because reason why we have a sell, we have sellers that join this block over here, so we have an order block in this area right here, so we're going to use that level. So we're going to use this level of the sell order block, right, as a guide, right? So order blocks are important. If you did not know that, they are super important, okay? And you definitely got to make sure that you are mindful of them when they appear on your chart. So if price, say for Monday, bounces up from where it is and heads back into this zone right here, right? Okay, right? Then there is a high probability that we have a head and shoulders. You want to be loading up on sales and flying all the way back down again, at which point a weekly high, so this weekly high is, let's have a look, Tuesday, Monday. Okay, so a weekly high would not have been taken out, but however, what is in this area is also very important, and I'm going to point that out to you as well, right? I'll point that out to you as well, so at least we know if a head and shoulder appears, everything that supports why we should be looking for sell is in this zone. We have a fair value gap, right? So we have a sell fair value gap in this zone right here. So on a Monday, we get an all-encompassing bullish candle to the upside. it taps into the fair value gap and starts to move away, therefore confirming that this is indeed a head and shoulders, right? So as it stands, I'm just making an assumption that we have a shoulder here, we have a head here, okay, and we may get a shoulder over here, and I'm using the fair value gap and this order block, so the order block right here and this fair value gap that I just drawn out as a guide to say that there is a high probability that we may get a head and shoulders in this area next week for price to push all the way down. So what you're currently getting from me today is an opportunity for serious gains. It's very, very, very serious gains moving forward for next week and the weeks beyond, right? Providing what I say takes place, right? And once again, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just a regular market or equity analyst. That's the actual word for what we do in the UK, believe it or not. It's not technical analysis, that's American. In the UK, we're known as equity analysts, because that's what we're doing. We're analyzing equity, right? Liquidity in the market. So if you didn't know, now you know, right? So so what we're going to do is so if market ends up in this zone, I'm expecting price to fly all the way down. So I already have a justification as to why I should be looking for sales, and everything is all marked out. I have 2 good reasons why I should be looking for sales. No, 3 good reasons why I should be looking for sales. So first things first, let's just take this all the way back and let's just do this one more time, okay? So over here, this zone that I've just drawn right here, okay, this is a support zone. Price is in this zone right now, okay, right? Now, most guys that do resistance and support trading are all loading up with buys at this location, okay? They're loading up buys at this location right now, and the idea is they're going to be aiming to either take TP at this level right here, okay, which is going to be 2078.7, okay, right, or somewhere around the fair value gap. They may be aware of this, they may not be aware of this, but because you're watching this, you are now aware of this, right? So when they hop on to start taking buys at this location, you too can join them in taking buys up to this location, because there's a decent amount of pips from here to here, okay? So we go into the 1 hour chart just to see if there is a high probability the price is going to be pushing up. Once price gets to the fair value gap zone, you seriously want to start considering jumping out of that trade, okay, right? You can either bring in a trailing stop to secure what you've already gained, okay, or you could hop out of the trade. How you do it is up to you, right? Most important part of this whole situation, should this situation take place, is if price starts moving away from the fair value gap, which means it's a high probability it's going to smash through this support zone and fly all the way down and find another spot to rest, which is most likely going to be around here. So price is gonna do this, in my opinion, and take this with a pinch of salt, right? So price is gonna do this. This is what I think. Like I said, I don't have a crystal ball, so I don't know. So I think price is gonna make its way up here. At its maximum, it's gonna go up to the order block where the buyers are gonna jump out. So at this point, you should see a red candle, which is going to be where the buyers jumped off with sales, right? And it's going to be a unique candle. So you're going to have a whole bunch of blues or whatever colors that you have on your chart, okay? Let me bring this down a bit. Let me just bring this down. So you're going to see a whole bunch of blues riding all the way up, and out of nowhere, you're going to get a red one. Then another bunch of blues, then more reds, right? So that's how you can kind of look at it if you actually want to analyze the candles, right? And then price is going to make his way down to the support level one more time, okay? Now it may break through, or it may just sit here, and it may consolidate for a bit. So this could be day number 3, day number 4, depending on how all this plays out, or it could even be something for next week, okay? So which is going to be when we're heading into August. And then at some point, it's going to make its way down here, right? And at this point, this is where the analysis stops in terms of what can happen and what can't happen, because I don't know at this point. My analysis will only go as far as it flying off from this level, making its way up to this level, okay? So that would then confirm that Obviously the analysis is on point. Fly all the way down to this zone, may blast through, may consolidate at this level, give us some kind of a rising wedge or a rising flag, or an ascending flag, or an ascending bull flag, whichever name. There's so many names for these things, right? In this area over here, and then it will break all the way down and possibly head to this zone. Reason why I would say it would head back to this zone is because you have an FVG in this area right here, and price likes to float around in the FVG zones. It really likes doing that, right? So that would be the vibe for next week. So let me just go back to the chart that I had up recently, right? And then let's look at it for what it is. So in my opinion, I would say there's a high probability that this weekly low is going to get taken out, but it's not going to get taken out immediately. And if it is, if you look at how the candles interact with this level, you should know not to jump in, right? And at some point it will then give a push to the upside. That upside will land around this zone here, okay, right? And then it will begin to fly down. So not only do we have 3 really good reasons as to why price is going to be flying down some more, we also have this structure over here that supports why price is flying down some more. And if you've been watching the previous analysis videos that I did in regards to this structure, because we've been tracking this whole thing for weeks, right? We've been tracking this whole thing for weeks now, right? You will see that what is happening here is in line with one of the videos that I've done possibly maybe about, I don't know, 4 weeks ago in regards to what was taking place. So make sure you go and check out those videos. There should be a thumb right about now, and there should be a thumb on backtesting videos if you need help coming up with a strategy, because the weekly highs and the weekly lows, you're finding that difficult, right? So with all of that covered, my awesome people from all over, I want to thank you for coming over to watch another episode of Nasdaq weekly highs, weekly lows technical analysis, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video, which will be very, very soon. So until then, this is Pips and Point signing out, and I wish you all the best with your trades.